I've had a whiteboard lying around for a while now, but I've lost the clips to mount it to the wall. If only I had a way to make new clips. Ah, silly me, I can just print those. Alright, so one of the questions I get asked a lot is how do I actually make the models? Well, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how I made this print. I'm using Cura right now to do my 3D modeling, but there's a lot of free software that you can use. You can look in the description to find links. So you can see that I've already made a couple of simple extrusions. Now I added radius to give it some strength, and then I add a couple more radiuses on the end to round it off. The last feature that I added is a hole, so you can mount it to the wall with a screw. Now once you got a model that you like, you have to export it as a .stl. Now an STL is essentially just a framework of triangles. Now I set the triangle limits here so that it's a nice fine mesh, and then I export it. Alright, now we can switch over to Cura, something you're all probably familiar with. Now I go ahead and load that STL that we just exported, and it plops down onto the build platform. When I first started in Cura, I made sure and made my first extrusions off the XY plane. That way when I import it, it sits just how I want it to. Even if the parts aren't how you want them orientation wise when you import them into Cura, it has a really good tool to rotate and then snap them to the build platform. Alright, you can see that I'm checking all the settings for my print. I'm printing at 0.2 layer height, and I've got everything else set up correctly. Anytime you import an object or move it on the build platform, Cura automatically generates the tool path. Using the layer tool, you can kind of spot some problems as it builds it. Now, this one didn't seem to have any problems, so I went ahead with the print. And this, my friends, is the best part of this whole entire process. Watching what you drew up in CAD get printed into reality. It just makes me all warm and fuzzy. Ah, get that bridge! One of the things you always need to be aware of is spacing. Whenever you put parts onto the build platform, you need to make sure that there's space in between the parts so that your print head won't hit the one part that's already built while it's making the second part. Cura is a pretty cool piece of software. It automatically does a lot of stuff for you. One of the things it automatically does is generate spacing between parts and the print head. It knows how big of a space the print head needs to operate before it can hit something. If you have a fan shroud that's bigger than the stock one, you need to go ahead and open up Cura, go into machine settings, look at the printer head size, and make sure all those dimensions reflect what you're actually running on your print head. You can also change up the order in which it prints parts. If you have multiple parts in your print bed, you can either print one part at a time, or you can print layer 1 for all of them, then layer 2 for all the parts, and layer 3 for all the parts. It takes more travel time, but sometimes this is a better option. Alright, well, now that I've put a not so level line on the wall, I'll mount my third bracket and mount that dry erase board. But I need to fix that bracket, he's upside down. Whoops. Well, there she is, the old whiteboard mounted to the wall, keeping the list of all my crazy projects. Now what you need to do is hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that, and write some comments down below. I really like interacting with you guys. Also, if you have a whiteboard of your own that you want to mount, or you just want to see these models, you can check out my Thingiverse account where I have the models posted. My next video will be on installing a new fan shroud that I designed. It's kind of cool, not like anything else I've seen on the internet. So be on the lookout for that guy. Meow.